Hey, I want to tell you about a few things that will stand in your way to succeed and be happy being yourself. When you work with me, it's important to know that I know a lot of those mind things, how they go up and down and you have different motivations, and then you think something's wrong with you. You're listening to everyone else who thinks there's something wrong with you because you're all in a group feeling that is the way. And everyone is pretty much just hiding or feeling shamed, embarrassed that you understand what to do and you are not doing it, and then you sabotage. Now, being a coach, the challenge is to have you trust me and understanding that in order for you to succeed, you have to be honest. You cannot go into solitude or do your own thing and thinking you're gonna be able to conquer yourself, because you would be by now. There's nobody who wants to sabotage. It's just the way you see it in the moment is what you want to do. So motivation changes, and when you work with me, you will be frustrated with yourself because you think I feel it's weird or that I don't understand this, which is the opposite. I would never take all this time in my life to explain to you that you got to understand nothing is wrong with your mind. You are in an environment where you have access to everything. You've been trained into certain stereotypes and certain wants and desires. You have body ideals and ideas for life, and all that kind of becomes a big storm in your mind. And most people in my life I know, and most people in general, have never had the time or wanted to work on your own self-relationship. You've been focused on everyone else, your family, career, your husband, your parents, everyone, but not yourself. And you also live in a culture where that has been kind of how we do it, that it's shameful to be selfish. It's shameful to care about yourself. So it's almost like you are gonna have to die before people think it's good for you to be a person with needs. And if you're a social creature, not a solitary lone wolf like me, you're gonna have that fight with people and try to be happy, disagreeing, and be agreement and live in peace and happiness together as a culture or community. And that's not easy then, and especially if you don't even know that the way to be happy is to give up on wanting to be right or trying to push your own ideas onto other people. You just have to be happy with yourself in a crowd with other people do what they do, and you want to support them doing what they want to do, because if you don't, well, you're not going to have the support for yourself to do what you want to do. So you have to want to be a good person, supportive, and not chit chat or be angry that other people are having something or are something you want to be. So the guilt and the shame and the fear of being judged, the lack of self-awareness and the desperation and pretty much having no feeling of self-worth is why I become your eagle mother, that I have to raise you up. I have to keep on pushing you to understand that you are important, that you cannot take away yourself from your own life, and you are here because you have things you want to grow and expand and evolve and become. So goals and dreams are all here to keep it fun and exciting. Only the fears of not making it keeps you from going. And here I am thinking, you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose but to be happy and in the work. Because you don't have the future forgiven, you don't have the body forgiven, guarantee. So you have nothing forgiven except for your hope and dreams are gonna keep on. So the shame and the fears and the guilt and not being good enough and not being perfect and being a slave for idealism, holding on to all you've been trained and being too scared of giving up on it, because when you do, you are also taking out what you want to be. So here is this tier number 2 here. The 2 powers in life that runs the world is sex and money. So as a woman, you are an easy target because you want to be attractive. You have been told and trained into always wanting to be the ideal in beauty and looks, because that way you're going to have the most chance to have the best, the best father for your children. So the more attractive you look, the more you are everyone's darling, the more you're going to have to pick from. So your dating pool is just larger. The more pretty you are, the more you're going to have it served your way, because that's how the world works, because we are surface driven. Now, when you come to life and realizing that you might just not be able to be everyone's ideal because you're not that young anymore, now that becomes a problem. What are you living for? What are you having? If you're not young and pretty, what is your function as a woman in today? So then that becomes an identity crisis, that you have no purpose in life because you have always thought it's about the looks and I'm about a trophy or I'm an image and I'm a mother, but that's it. And now it's you and you're not young and perky. Now you have never felt you have worth beyond a look to produce babies, to be someone's wife. Now that is gonna affect you. So all women want to be attractive and be the ideal and being everyone's darling because that way you have power. When you don't care about that anymore because you care about being happy and be proud and be able to actually say all these compliments, to make yourself your own sex symbol, your own fantasy, your own girl. When you know how to give yourself the compliments in the way that you know nobody could ever tell you exactly what you need to hear, you want to give them a script and they still won't make it, well, you can do that for yourself every day. So you're completely covered, completely satisfied with all the flattery you get to yourself. That's your onus. That's what you should do if you want to have a happy, healthy, consistent relationship with no fears of what happens to me. The second power is, of course, the money. That there's money in wanting to be a sex object. And if you have the sex object idea, you're going to have the power over money because people are going to buy into you. So the money people want is why you want to have the look. So now think about if you give up on wanting to have power and don't really care about having all the money because you care about how you feel. You're not chasing objects, you're not chasing the new car, the new diamond, the new shoes. You don't need something new to keep you excited for the moment and then it lasts nothing again. Because it's just like a fart, but it's not even fun. It's something you chase because it's just the chase, it's the fun. And when you have it, now you don't care for it anymore. It's like new Barbies, new toys. It won't last because it doesn't stay exciting the way you had it. So to keep on chasing something over and over is what people do in our industry, in our life, in our culture. To never see this because all about the stuff, the newest thing, and to show and compare. Now imagine if you don't care about that because it's very, very, very like surface. It's very not anything empowering or life affirming, and it's definitely not meditation. It's definitely not mindfuling. It's the opposite. It's the focus on things that will never last, and now you are holding on to it, you're getting attached. Now that's the typical Buddhism suffering, that you have attachment to this, and when you can't have it, now you're miserable. Now you're miserable and not happy, and now you have to find a new way to be happy, so you have to find a new fix. Like a new man, a new pair of shoes, a new dinner, a new house, a new renovation object, a new baby, a new pet. Because you just keep on having something that is going to stimulate now, but you never see through the whole cycle. So that is how you never have the balance and peace of mind, because in that play of power and being beautiful for other people to be ideals and not how you are, you're going to be and feel just as you are, the epitome of beauty, which is everyone should feel in order to have a good life. Then imagine that it's hard for the world to have an effect on you because you don't care about these things that are just the way farts are. Part of life, people do whatever they want to do. Life is perfect, it keeps on going on with me right now in my form or not. I will always be one form and another. So I'm not tying myself to put all this pressure on myself to achieve and accomplish, because I don't live my life to accomplish stuff, to have some kind of certification on that I accomplished and I did things. Because for me, it's not about that at all. My accomplishments, I solve my own problems, I make my own problem, my bliss, my whole life, my paradise. So when you have made yourself self-made and you have put yourself through the struggles and now you're on the other side, it's just the best. It's really about being like on heaven on earth, but it's not boring. It's the adventure that keeps on, and you want the adventure, and you're not scared of the ups and downs of life because you have realized it's just like being scared of failure in muscle training. If you're scared of the ups and downs of the season of life, you will be scared of life. You won't enjoy it. And then what are you doing it for? So the power and the need to want to be pretty for other people, that's gonna keep you in prison. And the last thing is, if you're not interested to actually learn about yourself, and you are not committed to learn and to stand strong in the fight for yourself in the moment where it's time to be fighting. And that is when you want to give up and kind of start over because it's too hard. Exactly, that's why you never make it out there to win and master yourself and increase your awareness of self over and over, because you just check out from when the hard work starts, which means you're never gonna be the strong mind you want to be that master your body. So I think that is good for you to know. The guilt is not gonna help you. You gotta get out of that, and also not project all your things you hold on to, which I don't, because I don't hold on to cultural and training. I break through it all. I deep reconditioning myself, and I have never been happier. So to not care about looks and not feel anything worse, that if I look uglier or I'm saggier or wrinkler or not, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't change my happiness. People's opinion about my changing my appearance will not affect me either, because I am happy and I do this for myself. So anyone's opinion about me doesn't affect my mood at all. And that's what I want you to know, that you have the power to choose that. But that's a 24/7 job, because that is the mindset of champion you want to. No matter what happens in the world, you keep on being the captain of your ship, and you're not succumbing like Titanic. That's the way I live, to always end up on the high side, keep on flying high, because I rather do that than be succumbing to the bottom like other people do, because I have a choice. I can just choose to do what makes me happy. That's what I do.